imprints on our children, and we go forward and we do things because daddy did it, talk the way daddy did, hit the way daddy did, use the way daddy did. So yeah, it's a critical part.
I didn't grow up with my father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandfather raised me. I actually lost him around this, and that was in about 97, 98.
Yeah.
And so I was about 18, 19. I had male figures to call on, but I didn't have my own father. You know, I also had men that would have been gap fillers for my father to play that role. However, you actually want your own father. You want your own and not someone else's. You know, I remember telling a couple of my friends, and man, it's your daddy. You know, that's not my daddy, man. I don't want to call him, you know, just the comfort to get certain things. So we go through life navigating, trying to figure it out on our own. Yeah. And so sometimes we do look at figures, like you said, who really aren't the best figures, but because of a certain level of comfort and relatability, we hold on to the wrong things, and they can become us, man. And I too became one of those men that I actually despised. Yeah. You know, I became one of those men, a slick talking, but not real wisdom. You know, I was around the wisdom. You know, you can navigate through life that way and survive, but not last. And so I'm glad you said that, man. How important is that level of manhood and maturity when it comes to being an actual father or a husband? Because we see a disconnect with children as well as the women and the mother of those children when it comes to respecting them as leaders.
Maturity, manhood is an ongoing journey, right? So I think it's important for a person to know before parenthood, you know, to know that they're on the journey. They need to at least be taking the steps. They can't not be on the road to being mature, to being a man or a woman, preferably before having a child. Sometimes the child pushes us into maturity, you know, which that kind of happened with me. My daughter changed my life, you know. I thought I was, you know, whatever, but the daughter kind of gave structure. So, yeah, once they know that they have to be on that road, then it'll open the door to having a stronger relationship with their child, being a better example. But if they go into a parenthood thinking that they're already grown, you know, 21, 31, you know, 40, whatever, you're not, you know, you grow every year. So just being humble enough to know that you're still growing, it helps. It helps. But there's not really a pinnacle. Maybe there is a pinnacle to manhood. You know, maybe it's kingship, but even a king is a servant and he has to go even beyond that. So yeah, I think it's being humble and being a servant, but not to get off topic, but you know, that also goes into parenthood too.
That's one thing I am grateful for, is a level of humility to say as a man, hey man, I'm still growing. Yeah. Hey man, I'm flawed in this area. I'm grateful to have met brothers like yourself that allow me to see certain things within myself that I lacked as a man, you know, because there is a certain type of man that I do desire to be. Mm-hmm. And, you know, although just because I have the desire doesn't mean I have the knowledge of how to do it. Yeah. You know, and that's where the humility comes in, to put that pride aside, to say, hey, man, I need a little more. You know, there's more I need to develop me as a man. I have some great tools, but because I understand that God does have a purpose for me, there's more development needed in order for me to fulfill that. Yep. So I'm glad you said that.
Nah, that's major. That's major. That releasing the weight of having to have it all figured out, you know, and just knowing that you're going the right way, it's night and day, you know. And in fact, thinking that you have it all figured out can be a lonely place. You know, you could sit there and you don't got nobody to talk to because you position yourself as an expert in all things. You know, now your pride is connected to you asking for help. You know, now you feel less of a man because you can't afford it, or you can't do it, or not qualified, you know. So yeah, the manhood is a journey, you know, maturity is a journey, you know. So I think when our parents and our future leaders know that, we will be better off.
Man, Mr. Hawkins, you're touching it. Man, listen, Mr. Hawkins, I know if I'm feeling it, others are feeling it, because I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Like you said, we position ourselves with all of this, man. You know, I think we got it figured out.